What an absolutely goated picture. And so we welcome you in to a week. I almost forgot what week we're in. Week 6 edition, on location for Russo edition of the Russo and Goodwin Show. And I am your co-host for the afternoon, Coach Trey. We obviously went live a couple of nights ago. Lots of feedback on that show. Russo is live in color and in person with a blurred background. How are we feeling, baby?
Two things. One, Mike the Tiger is coming to my work next week. So we are getting an exclusive Mike the Tiger. So I'm
Did
gonna
you
have to take another
bring your
picture.
co-host to work day? I'm trying to pull up.
Pull up, dude. Two, great episode. You had me dying laughing. I forgot what, but at some point you just went on one of your rants and had me going, dude. I was dying laughing, with understandably feeling your pain because we all know what this episode is going to be about.
So I guess the easiest way to kind of float into this one is, to be honest, man, like I'm not entirely certain that that the show can really be what we want it to be unless we're like fully transparent and honest. And like we've kind of talked about this a lot. And like I've always been like labeled like the homer, the positivity, glass half full. And I find that I'm that way in life, not just with like the football team, but I am very much so a vocal realist when it comes down to like what it is that we're seeing on TV, man. And I feel like this show has really provided me with the ability to portray that a little bit. What I saw was, and we mentioned this on the episode Tuesday, was there is no identity, there is no version of yourself, there is no this is who we are and this is what we're going to do on the offensive side of the football. On the defensive side of the football, I know exactly what I'm getting. I know who's there. I know what everyone's role is. The rules are clearly defined. We've got one sincere job. Everyone's got tasks within that job. And that just doesn't exist, man, on this offensive line. And the unfortunate part, Roos, the unfortunate part is that you were able to win this far without that identity. The Clemson loss looks, certainly a lot less impressive at this point, and it still deserves credence because going on the road, even to any team, like we've literally seen, 4 and 5 lost Auburn teams upset an undefeated and 1 lost Alabama team, and we've seen that happen a lot. And I know that that's a very pivotal rivalry, and Clemson and LSU is not that, but it's still very difficult to win on the road in college football. And it doesn't matter who it is that you're playing. Certainly it matters more considering if it's the top echelon of team, which Clemson is not. However, you were unable to win this game and have no identity. And so if you just have, if you're seeing this from a different lens than I'm seeing it from, the lens I see is there aren't many people on the offensive side of the ball that look like they trust really anything that's happening. And what I mean by that is I don't know that the offensive line trusts the guys to their left and right. I don't know that the receivers trust that the ball is going to get there. I don't know that the thrower of the football trusts that he can get it there. And I don't think that the running backs trust the holes that they're seeing pause. And so I think when you boil all that down and melt it up, man, that's a bad situation to be in for an offense. So what am I missing?
No, I think trust is probably the best aspect. And excuse me if you hear my nephew in the background while I'm talking. He's just
The
going to
star
town out
star of
there.
the show.
Star of the show. Trust is the thing. I think trust in all issues. But if you look at all of that together, I think your show painted a very good picture of it's threefold, really, right? It's Garrett Nussmeier, it's Joe Sloan, it's the head coach and the team. Like, I would say I was very concerned from the moment he came out, and this is Brian Kelly in that press conference, and he came out for Southeastern and said, Nuss is dealing with an injury. He's on the other side of it. We're going to play him. I felt like I lost a lot of trust there with that aspect. So, in essence, yeah, not good. But go on.
So I guess another piece is you can how am I going to word that? You can so you can two things can be true at once. You can be on the other side of an injury, but you can also have something be re-aggravated within the game and the coach not know. So we've talked about this before. I don't really care whether or not it's the is he hurt or not? Is he too hurt to be played? That is what I think Brian Kelly is saying, and I think he feels confident in that that's not the case. But you and I know that it's not right because Garrett Nussmeier does not regress in that way. He can regress because he's not getting the reps and not knowing where the ball is located. And if I had the ability to do it right now, I don't want to pull away from the streaming connection that we have to start running screen grabs and whatnot. But
Yeah.
there are several plays, brother, in which you can see where the receiver is, and Garrett doesn't even look that way. So it means that there are spots in which he's looking for, and if he doesn't see the spot, then the ball doesn't get there. And if the ball does not have a designated location, then it's like panic, 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 Trey'Dez Green. Panic, 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 sack. Panic, 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 force something stupid. And so what I'm having a hard time believing is that nothing's wrong, because clearly something is. As we said before, Garrett Nussmeier has always had a big arm. He's always thrown the ball high. He's always thrown the ball far. He's always thrown the ball to people that can catch the ball and run fast. Him not getting the ball there does not come from regression. That comes from an injury. Him not reading an offense, a coverage right, has always been Garrett's case. But guess what? Garrett has always had issues before with the decision making, but not seeing a receiver soon enough, but getting the ball there anyway is literally what makes Garrett Nussmeier. There has been several different plays in which in which there's somebody running up the seam and he can get the ball there 2 seconds late. It's just, I don't know. It's just, it's difficult. I will say, to the comments in the chat, any thoughts on playing Michael Van Buren any in the future if Nuss still can't throw a deep ball? Absolutely. I don't think that the team, and we talked about this, I don't think that the team understands what they have in Michael Van Buren because he's a gamer, and I don't think he shows it in practice, and that's a really difficult, reality that you're faced with. But he's clearly more than serviceable enough to play. Whether or not you can go to the college football playoffs with him, I don't know that we've seen enough of him in a full game scenario yet. But yeah, I do. And it says the
They
current
should have
LSU,
played him this game, in my opinion.
the current LSU offense looks like the Fields and Eberflus Bears offense. Dude looks like Dominic and intramurals and okay. So I will briefly explain to y'all what that means. So these are a couple of my buddies from college. Shout out to my boy Colton and T Money. We had a buddy of ours. I say a buddy is a loose term. A buddy of Tyler's in college that in intramural football you couldn't have pockets when you'd play, and he didn't have shorts without pockets. And so he literally took his shorts off and played the flag football game in his briefs. like it was in fact, I think it was actually Colton's bestie, not Tyler's friend. It was an acquaintance. But anyway, apparently, and that same guy bemoaned us for making fun of that, as if that wasn't weird. But anyway, a side story. What I wanted to ask you is, and I just want to put this into your perspective, because you and I talked about this off the phone. Um,
To my
I
GoFundMe, I'll make a stand.
if Sloan fails to score more than 21 points, where can I donate to the buyout? Um, I'm gonna be honest with you, brother.
Have we only done that once this season against Southeastern?
Listen, I think that if you really wanted my opinion, if Brian Kelly just picked up the play sheet again, I think you'd be fine. And some people on Twitter are saying, why not just try the other co-offensive coordinator and go to Cortez Hankton? You can't design a playbook mid season. And the same thing for Brad Davis. They're like, well, the replacement's already there with Alex Atkins as the tight ends coach. I don't think that that's really so easy. But it would make sense, right? But I will say this: Brian Kelly, when he picked up the play sheet, they were a better team offensively. Now the red zone still sucked because he picked it up against Florida, and you couldn't make it into the red zone.
Does Sloan get canned if the offense looks bad against South Carolina?
They're not gonna can it in the middle of the season. They're not.
You don't think so?
No, no, no,
This is a
absolutely not.
glaring. Oh, this is a glaring issue, dude.
No,
I don't know.
I don't think so. You're not gonna risk the recruiting class that you have this close to early signing day. You're not. Not. There is far more um there is far more reason to institute yourself and help the offense along and then take care of this once the season is over than do it right now in the middle of the season. And I'm not kidding.
Back to Imagine's comments. I think he should have played.
I agree.
You know, in my opinion, and man, you talked about this. If Nuss was really hurt, you are in a win-win situation if you sit him against both Southeastern and Ole Miss. Like, to me, I just think you get the benefit of saying, "Hey, my backup quarterback was playing," while also resting Nuss. And if MVB, like you said, he's a gamer, you never know. He could have been the difference in that game. Is he a better thrower than Nuss when healthy? No, but he offers a different route of offense, which is heavily needed right now in the run game. He could open up the run game, but I don't know if the run game can open up with Sloan calling the plays. Like, I don't know. And doesn't this remind you of the kind of just the reverse situation of 2021? Or is that 2021, right? Jaden and that offense with Brian Thomas, and that 2022 or 2021?
2022 was the
Yeah.
first year, but
Like
it
the
was all
reverse of that.
it was all Jaden Daniels running. 2023 was that offense.
Yeah. So like, and shout out to Malik just towards ACL. Hate to see it.
MetLife deserves to burn, dude.
But yeah, man, MVP should definitely play against South Carolina, and I'm over it if he doesn't play. If you continue to play Nuss, because I don't want to hear about the injury again. Like you literally just told me he was on the other side of it. Now, Brian Kelly did come out, I believe, on Monday and said that, is Nuss hurt? And he said no, right? Did I mishear that?
He clarified, and again, is he hurt? Is he on the other side of it? Yes, there was an ab strain. Yes, it's been slow to heal, but he's on the other side of it. He's been sticking to that. And dude, if Garrett's not telling him that he's hurt, then he's not hurt. Didn't he have the ab strain before the season?
I thought it was his ankle.
It was the knee. It was the knee tendonitis
yeah.
that you're referencing, and he did have a brace on that knee, like a sleeve, more along the lines. But Nuss got smacked against Southeastern in the third on the last drive. He actually looked good throwing with his arm power. I think he tweaked it again and regressed. Personal opinion. To be honest with you, I said this on the show. Garrett always looks like he's on the edge of a cliff and about to die when he gets sacked.
That was what got me, because it's so true. It's so true.
It's always as if he's like on the brink of death when he gets sacked. And so I do, and I'm not saying he's lying, and he's obviously a tough kid. He keeps playing, but it's like, could he have heard it? Yes. But I agree. I think, and I said it, I think 5 times on the show, I think that Michael Van Buren should be good enough to win you against South Carolina, because their offense is not great outside of Lenore Sellers. But then again, yours isn't either. You know what I'm saying?
Just go back to the Southeastern game again, dude. One, if you were going to play them, why not just play them for a few drives? that game made no sense to me, the game plan. I think he played into the fourth quarter, did he not?
Who's
Like
that?
the first possession, or he played a couple possessions in the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Nuss did.
He
He had
played
no
one
business.
possession. One.
He had no business being in the game that long, in my opinion. That always bugged me. I think that press conference from that moment on has bugged me tremendously because like it just doesn't make any sense on why he played. It was the perfect time to rest him. If he was actually that hurt, don't play him against Ole Miss. I mean, in my opinion, hindsight sucks, right? Because like obviously, if they'd gone out and won that game, things are different. But nothing got better. I think I've been here. I was confidently hoping LSU was. I thought LSU was going to win that game comfortably. Like going into it, I echoed Matt Moscona's sentiment. Like I was uncomfortably confident in this team, and you just like with the offense, with the names on that offense, with Nuss, what we saw last year, we just all thought it was going to come together at some point, and it's just not. Like we waited 4 weeks. The Clemson, every week you started to question whether that Clemson win was good. Every week you're like, ooh, not good. And then yeah, just Nuss got out. And look, he's hurt, but he got outplayed by a D3 quarterback or D2 quarterback, whatever he is. And look, he played well. I mean, the dude he wasn't a bum, but like LSU still had their chances to win that game, which is the most frustrating part. The most frustrating part about that game. They could have won that game. They had several chances. The roughing the passer, the PI on the pick six. And there's my nephew going off. That's what I was doing during the game. I was just sooking, you know. But yeah. Anyways, my rant's done.
No, it's incredibly disappointing because again, we try so hard to make this a thing consistently, dude. It's just so exhausting. It's so exhausting to have to go over what we're not what we see it, man. So I don't know. Again, I just want to take a brief second before we get to that comment. Before we get to that comment, I just want to give a shout out to our friends over at Web Western. Web Western, obviously, we're a straight shooting company. I'm incredibly excited to say that I can officially announce that in the event that you guys want to go get a magnetic brim water repellent hat with a little bit of a sweat blocker up here in the top, you can use code TREYG10 at checkout for a little discount on there. Certainly an awesome Christmas. I mean, look, if you're trying to get some Christmas shopping done early for your homeboy, or for your old lady, or if you're an old lady out there, you want to get it for your husband. Super great gift. Awesome company. Founder's really, really cool guy. Very, very generous with what they've been able to do, not only for myself, but to allow me to have merch to show and obviously to offer money off. That's that's not something that just happens lightly. But just wanted to give them a quick little shout out over at that's Web Western, 2 B's 2 W's, webwestern.com. If we want to bring this one up, Russo, so this one is, how many more 3 and outs must I watch this season? Really and truly, brother, I'm not saying that I like 3 and outs. I actually hate him with my full heart, but there's something about Grant Chadwick that makes me, dude.
They actually changed up in this Ole Miss game. It was more of first down on first play of the drive and then 3 and out.
Dude, Grant Chadwick's got a boot on him. That dude can flip the field. I will say that. Thank God your punter has a leg, because if it weren't for that, you'd be starting every drive on defense on the 50. And that's the difficult part, right? Because the defense has the ability to carry the day. And if you just had a pulse on offense, if you're as good as last year on offense, you beat Ole Miss, and you absolutely could go 10-2 with the offense we saw at the end of the year last year, and this defense can absolutely go 10-2 from here on out. Like from here on out, they can finish 10-2. Like you have the ability to beat South Carolina, and you have the ability to beat Vanderbilt, and you absolutely have the ability to beat A&M, and you absolutely have the ability to go on the road and beat Oklahoma. But guess what you're not going to do if you have that offense? You're not going to beat Oklahoma. You're not going to beat Alabama. And you're not going to beat A&M. If you don't have the ability to have complementary football, and I don't mean how Brian Kelly means it. I mean like good enough to where the like you can score and hold the ball, you are not going to win. It's impossible. So I don't know. When does Sloan score his first opening drive TD since? Okay, so we're going to use grammatical context here. So when does Sloan score his first opening drive touchdown since Arkansas last year? When does he score his first offensive drive? I mean, I absolutely.
Or is that the last? Is that the last time we've scored an offensive
opening drive?
The offensive drive? That's crazy.
I think that you can do it against South Carolina. I really do. I'm not saying that you are, but I absolutely think that you can, because if you can't do it, if you can't script 12 and 15 plays in 2 weeks, then I've got some very, very difficult words for you. But in reality, but just like this last game, you held them to a 3-and-out for the first 2 drives in Ole Miss, and that's Lane Kiffin, who's arguably the best play designer in college football.
That game started perfectly.
I know.
As LSU fans, I thought, wow, this is going to go our way, and then he throws a pick, and it's gone. It's gone. But yeah, I mean, to me, I think we just got to move on. I think you pray we get some rest, and I imagine they're going to play Nuss. I just, nothing has convinced me that they're not. So, but I would love to see MVB against South Carolina. I think that's the perfect game to do it. I think you can win without them. And yeah. So, I don't know.
If you want my sincere thoughts on, and as we kind of pivot a little bit into some of these games that we have, this I'm trying to extend this the right way. That's what I want right there. As we pivot it just a little bit and talk about these other games, I do want, a little bit of feedback in the chat, not just on the LSU end of it, but I also want to talk about Texas on the road at Florida. Texas on the road at Florida with a 4.5 point spread. Any immediate thoughts? Because to me, that feels like Florida can cover that.
And while that bullets up, I'll give you my opinion. I don't think Arch is going to do. I think this is the same story. Like, I think they have a quarterback that has some issues, maybe not more on the physical side like Nuss, but maybe more on the mental side / not ready. I think Florida's defense is still relatively good. It's in the swamp.
They're very good.
Yeah, I mean, give me Florida keeping this close. For
Texas's offense isn't good either, Sean. So you have to take that into consideration too.
That's what this feels like a trap. Like when you look at the line, but
they know something we don't. I could easily see Texas coming out and winning this game by 2 scores just because of the way they play. And if Sark has a good scheme against a 3-man front, but I definitely think that Florida could get one if they really want to play. And Vandy going to Bama, I don't really love Vandy in the points, but I wouldn't hate it. I just feel like
love it. I love it,
dude. That Bama team coming off of that emotional win. So does the revenge spot or the emotional spot win the day for Alabama? Because that Alabama team that you saw last week could win the national championship. I hate to tell you.
I'm here to tell you that Vanderbilt offense is no joke. That's what I'm coming here to tell you.
That Alabama team that you saw last weekend playing Oregon would be pinnacle football right now. If that
here's
Bama
the
team
thing.
plays.
Here's the thing, though. You showed me your ass already, dude. Like, and Florida State already had a bad loss to Virginia. Or I wouldn't maybe say bad, but it was a tough, but they lost. Like, you showed me it. I'm looking for it again. Vanderbilt hasn't really shown me any signs of slowing down. And to me, that offense is scoring 40 points. Like, maybe not against Bama, but you might not need 40 points. Who knows? But that offense is sick. I'm here to tell you that for sure. Now, they could come out and lose. That's fine. I think they easily cover this game. I think this game is going to be one possession. It's going to be close. It's going to come down to the last possession.
So let's take it from the top here. So we got the 4 big games. Give me one upset if you're to predict it. Texas at Florida with a 4.5, Vandy at Bama 10.5, Miami at Florida State 4.5, and State on the road at A&M at 17.5. What is the most likely to cover? or what is the most likely upset outright?
I think Florida has the best chance outright, just given
And
the
State to cover?
line.
Because you think covering 17 is easier than covering 10?
I mean, I'm severely confident in Vanderbilt. Like,
Okay.
I think they
Bet
have
them
a chance
outright.
to win.
Bet
They
them
have a
outright.
chance. They have a chance to win, and I think they for sure have a chance to cover.
You won't bet them outright.
I mean, and I have Snee in the chat coming to probably crap on me for picking Florida against Texas. Um, but I mean, dude, I just don't. Here we go. Oh, never mind. He wasn't talking to me about that. I hear my nephew in the background next to me. But yeah, give me Florida on Florida and Vanderbilt for both winning and covering. Those are my chances.
Plus 315 for Vanderbilt
For the covers?
win. Plus 315 to win. Parlaying both wins together is 1045. It is now 5.5. Florida is getting 5.5. That is a mistake on our end. That number has jumped up to 5.
Yeah. I like both of those spots.
I don't hate 5.5, brother.
I like both.
I dare that. I dare that to get to 7. I dare it.
We'll come out with some plays on the Twitter this weekend regarding that, because I think there is some juicy spots this weekend. And look, we could be just completely wrong, and I think there is a definite chance that one of these games goes the way I'm thinking and the other just falls apart. But I think both of those games are going to be very close. So
Who's the best team in college football?
Ohio State looked pretty good against Washington.
Okay.
Oregon probably has the most impressive win. Gritty win against Penn State. That Oregon team looked good. I mean, watching that game, it was just like refreshing to see people run the ball. It was like coming
This
right off of
isn't
the LSU game.
this isn't the Oregon Ducks you're used to seeing, brother. This is the new NIL age Oregon that's got as much, if not more, money than everybody, and they've got some podness on the defensive side of the football. You hear me?
I think it's Ohio State. I think Oregon beats Ohio State. I would love to see what the line on that game. Do they play this year? They do not.
I believe
I
they
would
will
I would love to
play
see
for the
the
Big
hypothetical.
Ten.
I would love to see the hypothetical on that. I would probably imagine Ohio State's the favorite, but I would take Oregon in that matchup.
Oregon and Miami on a neutral field.
What do I think the spread is?
Yeah.
Oregon, Miami? Oregon minus 4.5.
Ole Miss.
Against Oregon?
Mm.
Minus 7.5.
Oklahoma.
Is Money Mateer playing? Money
Yes.
Mateer? Minus 7.5.
A&M.
Minus 5.5.
Who's the third best team in the Big Ten?
It's not Michigan.
You ready to say it's Penn State or Indiana? Because Indiana's better than last year. I hate to tell you.
I don't think Penn State.
Okay.
I don't think Penn State has any issues with Indiana.
Okay. Penn State and Alabama are on a neutral field right now.
Can we get a spread? Can we get a spread on that Indiana game? It's at Penn State. Can we look? Surely they have a line for it.
Indiana is 10.5 underdog on the road to Oregon.
Okay.
I don't have that line. I'm just curious your thoughts, brother.
No, I know.
Because we don't
LSU, while we're talking about LSU, minus 9.5 against South Carolina.
It feels right.
42.5. Yeah, we don't have anything on that. That's interesting.
Under.
Heisman, Dante Moore is the clear favorite.
I've got a ticket
Heisman
on
plus 500.
I've got a ticket on Dante.
And then Ohio State, Oregon are 500 and 550. You guess who's not in the top? I don't know. 10. You know who has the same odds as Indiana to win the national championship? LSU. You know who has better odds than both of those teams? Notre Dame.
Look, look,
How screwed up is that, dude?
look, look. This is
That's
obviously going to
messed
be a
up.
shorter episode because it's a bye weekend, but there are some truths and some things that die hard, and it's that the Notre Dame schedule
Look, I hope
is
everything.
going to catch up to them.
How fun would it be if everything aligned up and LSU and Notre Dame play in a bowl game? How fun would that be?
Oh, dude, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
And again, I'm just glad that we have the ability to have college football on in the playoff games. And again, that kind of wraps me up a little bit. I'm not sure if there's any other points that you really wanted to get to. I
Nah,
think
we're
that
good, man.
there's not a clear and concise victor and winner right now in college football, and so I there's no clear number one to me. I think that's kind of my point. There's no clear best team in the SEC. And I certainly don't think that we're done finding out things that we don't already know. I think this is just going to be one of those seasons. And so with that, we'll wrap this one up into a bow. Again, thank you all for giving us a view, giving us a like, dude. Climbing up the subscribers a little bit. Obviously, I start mentioning a giveaway, and all of a sudden, people start clicking. Guys, like and subscribe. If y'all are super interested in the show, give us a shout, give us a click, give us a like, share us out to your uncles, your aunties, your mother-in-laws, and all of them, and let them know that that the boys are in town and doing the damn thing. So, shout out to you guys for always being with us and for being active in the comments. Give us a little thumbs up there. And we'll catch y'all in the next one.